This is a News 5 Investigates special presentation.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross. Tonight, we take a look back at some of our most memorable result-driven investigations, many of which were sparked by your tips. It's our job to hold the powerful accountable, expose wrongdoing, and ask the tough questions public officials try to avoid. Tonight, I'm proud to say our stories have opened criminal investigations, put bad guys behind bars, and brought closure and justice to crime victims. We start tonight with a year-long investigation on squatters invading Colorado homes. You may recall Roland Hawkins returned home from a bike tour in Utah last year to find random homeless people had moved into his home and refused to leave. Colorado Springs police told Hawkins the case was civil, and if he wanted them gone, he would have to file an eviction case in court. It's a common practice we found happening across the state. Here's a look back at the story which angered so many of you and ultimately got the attention of lawmakers.
It's as if somebody took a homeless camp and put it in my house. That's what it looks like.
Roland Hawkins returned from a bike tour in Utah, only to find his rental home trashed.
Dishes are piled up in the kitchen. The stove is crusted with food. Carpets are filthy. They're stained. There's food all over the place. It's a pigsty.
Hawkins rented the home to a man who moved out in July. Shortly after, homeless moved in.
Utilities is all being used by them and not being paid for.
Each time Hawkins knocked on the door to try to get them to leave, a different person opened up.
Hi, buddy.
We saw a total of 4 people, including this little girl who was sleeping in a crib in a closet. Neighbors also snapped pictures of 2 more homeless people after noticing lots of traffic going in and out of the house.
May I have your name, please? Your name is?
While some of the squatters were not eager to talk, others weren't shy to taunt Hawkins.
We have another week before we even legally have to get out of here.
I'm a legal owner of the property, but I can't even access it because these squatters have more rights than I do.
And he's right. According to the law, he cannot enter his own home without the squatter's permission.
May I come in and look?
Nor can he throw their stuff away without first evicting them.
Look at this mess.
Here's your house all up.
It's way It's going to cost me so much money to get this clean.
20 to 30% of the evictions we do are people that are actually not on the lease or the actual tenant.
Deputy Paul Smith serves 4 to 5 eviction notices each morning. He says squatters often target unoccupied rental houses or homes that belong to military personnel deployed overseas.
People will, cruise through the neighborhoods. They'll find the houses that are empty. They'll pay attention to those houses that are empty. Case the house, basically, is what they'll do. And then they'll break into the residence. They'll change the locks.
It just baffles me how somebody can go on vacation for 30 days thinking that their home is secure, come back, find random strangers in their home, they call the police, they call the sheriff's office, and nothing can be done to move these people out immediately.
It is extremely frustrating. It's not only frustrating for them, it's frustrating for us as police officers that this is going on and you can't do anything about it. They have to actually go through the eviction process.
For Hawkins, that process began on August 10th, filing eviction paperwork downtown. 2 weeks later, he had to go to court and spend 2 hours waiting for a judge to approve the eviction. Hawkins then had to go back to the courthouse the following Monday to get what's called a writ of restitution, which finalizes the eviction. People we've spoken with who have become the victims of squatting situations feel that the justice system protects the squatters and doesn't really protect them. They have a long process they have to go through in order to evict a squatter.
It is a very long process, and there's not in my experience, there's not a lot of protection for the homeowner or the property management company.
3 days after the eviction paperwork was finalized, deputies showed up to move the transients out. We met up with Hawkins as he legally got his home back.
The day the sheriff came and evicted everybody, I replaced the locks.
He has a lot of work left to do to repair the home and hopes by sharing his story, lawmakers will draft legislation that will make it easier for homeowners to kick out unwanted squatters.
These laws need to be changed. They need to be looked at. They need to be reconsidered. It's not right for the rightful owner.
After that story aired, State Representative Dave Williams reached out to me, promising to close a loophole and stop professional squatters and transients from victimizing law-abiding homeowners. More on that in just a moment. In another case, Anthony Studebaker says not one, but two squatters and their children invaded his Colorado Springs rental home, even changing the locks so he couldn't get in. Once again, the case was written off as a civil matter, forcing Studebaker to take the squatters to court, just like the homeowner in our previous story. It's hard to understand how someone can enter your home, change the locks, and legally have rights to live there.
To me, it's trespassing. They're definitely trespassing.
Anthony Studebaker owns this home near Carita and Palmer Park. The only problem is he can't get in.
They've changed the lock.
You can see the original door lock is gold, but someone installed a new deadbolt, and that's not all. The homeowner says typically a dog or cat should be able to get through here, and clearly these squatters put a board or something in there so you can't even open it. Minutes after interviewing the homeowner, the alleged squatters showed up, but they were not eager to talk with us. Can we have the keys to the home? You changed the locks on the home. Can we have the keys to the home back? The homeowner wants the keys to the home back.
The squatter, a deadbeat, has more rights than we as a homeowner. It's our house.
Studebaker has since started the eviction process, but it could take weeks or even months before the squatters get evicted through the court process.
There's clearly a gap in law, and it's outrageous.
State Representative Dave Williams was appalled to hear that homeowners have to take people who do not belong in their house to court.
These homeowners, they're out for weeks having to evict these squatters, and then they have to actually fix up their homes after these squatters have damaged it. And that prevents legitimate tenants and potential renters from actually being able to find a place to live.
He's now promising big changes.
We are going to draft some language up that closes these loopholes and punishes these criminal squatters for damaging, the lives of taxpayers and property owners.
What's the probability something like this, a bill will be drafted next legislative session to address this very issue?
Oh, I think 99%. I'm committed to having legislation drafted up for the next session.
While people like Anthony sit and wait for the civil eviction process to run its course, he's left wondering whether he'll be able to rent out his house again once these people move out. So you're not going to answer any questions?
Do I have a house that I can rent again, or am I going to have to put thousands of dollars into it for repairs? It's frustrating.
Representative Williams kept his promise, and soon after, Representative Larry Liston and Senators Bob Gardner and Owen Hill worked together to draft Senate Bill 15. It passed back in May and took effect July 1st. Under the bill, squatter cases will no longer be treated the same as landlord-tenant evictions. These cases will be heard in court the very next day. Also, squatters who refuse to leave are subject to trespassing charges and could also face criminal mischief or vandalism charges if they destroy the homeowner's property, which unfortunately we've seen in so many cases. Coming up,
we told the police we need help. Nobody could help us because it's a civil case.
Squatters took over her daughter's home just days after she died. They stole her car, furniture, and everything inside.
It's just not right. And nobody seems to do anything.
We're asking Colorado Springs police why they haven't made any arrests. Plus,
we're making a public policy choice.
2 months after Senate Bill 15 went into effect, we'll tell you how other law enforcement agencies are enforcing the new law. And where did all the money go?
No comment.
A 6-month-long investigation landed this former sheriff's office dive team member on the wrong side of the law, what he did and how he got caught. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Instead of mourning the loss of a loved one, Jerry Clark was fighting to save what little she could after squatters took over her dead daughter's home. By the time this story aired, Senate Bill 15 was already in the works. And if our previous 2 stories didn't make you question whose side the law is on, this one might.
We lost a daughter, we lost a mother, and we've lost a sister. And nothing is being done. We need help. We need help.
Wendy Clark passed away in October of natural causes.
She was a real sweetheart. She was a real classy gal.
After Wendy's death, her mother Jerry went to her home to go through her belongings. To her surprise, random people were living inside. Through court records, we identified one of the squatters as Jack Cole, a repeat felon with a long rap sheet.
She died October 16th, and we're going into February. He's been living there for free all these months, using her car, and I don't know where that is anymore.
News 5 Investigates uncovered after Wendy passed away. Colorado Springs police were called to her home 19 times between November and January. The calls ranged from burglary, theft, graffiti, trespassing, and even an overdose. Yet the only arrest made involved this squatter who had an outstanding warrant in Pueblo. Police told Jerry if she wanted the remaining squatters gone, she had to evict them.
We've had to hire attorneys, and we need some help, and the police can't help us at all. It's pathetic. We pay taxes, we're citizens of the state of Colorado. Why can't somebody help us? I don't understand. I just don't understand.
As Jerry took her fight to court, Jack Cole was enjoying Wendy's home, even posting this picture on Facebook 2 months after her death. It was taken inside Wendy's living room with the caption, "Relaxing day with the Cowboys."
At Christmas time, he put up the Christmas decorations that they had, and he put it on Facebook. Talk about pain.
In court last month, Jerry came face to face with Jack Cole, who had no intention of giving up the house, reportedly telling the judge he and Wendy were married.
She was never married. On her death certificate, it states that she's single. On the medical records from the hospital, it said single. She's never been married. She's never been married. And I know she wouldn't have married him.
News 5 Investigates found no marriage license for Wendy and Jack, and one of Jack's multiple Facebook pages says he's single. Another shows he's in a relationship with another woman.
He's a liar. And we have to live with this. It's not right. It's just not right.
The judge ultimately sided with Jerry and ordered the squatters to leave.
He destroyed this house. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And we told the police we need help. Nobody could help us because it's a civil case. We can't do anything. They couldn't do anything. What is wrong with our system?
Jerry gave us pictures of what Wendy's house looked like prior to the squatters moving in. And this is the aftermath. Switches torn off walls, trash everywhere, needles littering the floor, and worse, Wendy's white Pontiac is missing. News 5 Investigates emailed Lieutenant Howard Black, the police department spokesperson. He would not answer any questions or explain why police would not pursue criminal mischief or theft charges.
Beautiful headboard and a frame. That's gone. Curtains are gone. You can see the rods. There was something hanging here. That's gone. Well, look at the walls. They're empty. They're empty. Everything that was hanging on the walls is gone.
I think we all want to see these parasitic squatters who invade a home got rid of without delay.
After multiple News 5 investigations exposing a clear problem in our community, lawmakers drafted Senate Bill 15, which would give police the power to immediately remove squatters without waiting for a court-ordered eviction.
We're making a public policy choice. We can come down on the side of property owners, homeowners, military personnel who are deployed, people who are away on business, or we can come down on the side of home invaders, vandals, and thieves.
I surely wouldn't want any other family to have to go through something like this. I'm a senior citizen on a limited income. We can't afford this.
Shortly after that story aired, we received a tip that we could find Wendy's car stashed in an apartment complex parking lot. Now, I checked out the tip and found Wendy's abandoned car right where we were told it would be. However, police refused to recover it and maintain the case is a civil matter. Tonight, there are new questions over whether the case was handled correctly from the get-go. Our coverage on this story continues Thursday night at 10, right here on News 5. Turning now to the squatter bill passed following our series of reports. 2 months after Senate Bill 15 took effect, we know of at least 2 cases where alleged squatters have been criminally charged and sentenced. Christina Borrego admitted in court she was homeless and living in a house she didn't belong in. Just 7 days after Senate Bill 15 passed, Borrego was charged with trespassing. She pleaded guilty and received a 2-year deferred sentence. However, the courts were not as lenient on Brandon Bussey. The 31-year-old broke into the former Pueblo police chief's home while he was out of town and helped himself to his food and bed. Bussey pleaded guilty to trespassing and was sentenced to 9 years in the Department of Corrections. He received a stiffer sentence because of his habitual offender status. Still to come, you ruined a lot of these people's lives and they want to know where their money is.
No comment.
This former sheriff's dive team member in hot water for allegedly stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from homeowners while running an unlicensed contracting side business. We'll hear from his victims next. And later,
I wouldn't have gotten anything if it hadn't been for you and your station.
a look back at some of the investigations that ended with positive results. Welcome back. By day, he was a sheriff's office dive team member, but on the side, he ran an unlicensed contracting company and is accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from more than a dozen victims. Our reporting sparked a criminal investigation, which led to a 14 felony count indictment against Joe Pacheco. There is no shortage of victims who say Joe Pacheco took their money and left them with a mess.
He was a very smooth talker, until he got our money.
Joyce Larry hired Pacheco a year ago to build a new patio, which he never finished.
I was calling him and calling him. He had every excuse in the book. He said that the supplies were back ordered, he couldn't do it.
Jeff Garcia is out tens of thousands of dollars after he hired Pacheco to remodel a new home he just bought.
He started demo, which he did not complete the demo. You know, every week it was a fight with him because he wanted more money.
John Creek hired Pacheco to remodel his kitchen.
He came in and started June 1st, disassembling everything, tearing everything out, and then left.
We wanted our cabinets that he ordered. Found out that he never actually ordered the cabinets.
Roy Desalernos claims he's out more than 40 grand for a kitchen Pacheco never finished either.
He just quit answering his phones.
During the time Pacheco was reportedly ripping off customers, we learned he was on the dive team with the Pueblo County Sheriff's Office. He was fired just 1 day after we started asking questions. We also uncovered Pacheco is not a licensed contractor. Our investigation led Pueblo's Regional Building Department to cite Pacheco earlier this year for not having a license or pulling proper permits. He was slapped with fines, but nothing compared to the 14 felony theft counts he now faces.
I truthfully believe that if it wasn't for you and Channel 5 Investigates, this would have not gone anywhere in this town.
But there's still one unanswered question. Where's the approximate $400,000 Pacheco reportedly got paid? Do you plan on returning any of the money you took? Where did all the money go?
No comment.
I don't know where that kind of money, and that money for me would last a long time, $400,000. I believe that's under some pillow somewhere.
You ruined a lot of these people's lives and they want to know where their money is.
No comment. Thank you. Have a nice day.
It's hard for us to have a nice day, and it's hard for these people to have a nice day when you took their money and ran.
He took our money. We're never going to see a penny of it. The only thing that we're going to get out of it is hopefully justice will be served. Nobody gave a flip about putting his feet to the fire, except Channel 5.
A judge granted Pacheco a court-appointed attorney. He's due back in court October 1st. Now, if convicted, Pacheco faces up to 48 years behind bars. Coming up.
Without your help and without you listening, I was just one person crying out for help.
We take our commitment to help our viewers seriously. A closer look at how we turn news tips into result-driven investigations. We'll be right back. While we develop some of our investigations by filing open records requests and combing through court records, some of our best investigations come from you, our viewers. We're not just here to expose a problem, we want results and solutions. It's not just a saying, it's our commitment.
All banks have policies to protect your money, especially against fraud and unauthorized transactions. But one Colorado Springs woman found out banks are not always willing to reimburse you.
The single grandmother living in this one-bedroom apartment on the east side of Colorado Springs is being evicted.
I have no place to go yet. I seriously don't.
Gavin Scaro wrote down her debit card number and made 80 online purchases totaling more than $5,600. Now, we do have some good news to bring you after our interview with Johnson. We did speak with her apartment manager and have been told they've stopped the eviction process based on her situation. Also, after multiple requests for information, Guarantee Bank CEO Paul Taylor called me and said the bank has just issued Johnson a full refund for the fraudulent charges.
News 5 investigates getting help tonight for a Teller County couple ripped off by a local contractor.
Shelley and Randy Love paid nearly $20,000 for home repairs, but the contractor never finished the job.
When the owner of Wire Nut Heating and Air got wind that a contractor took advantage of first-time home buyers, he decided to send a repairman out to make things right.
We saw this story, we just thought with the electrical things that they needed work on, I thought maybe we could do something.
We both appreciate all that you've done for us.
A News 5 undercover investigation sparks a criminal investigation. Today, Colorado Springs police confirmed they are looking into a man accused of preying on people who are physically challenged.
After Ron Hall was swindled out of more than $2,200, a local nonprofit saw our story and decided to step in.
There shouldn't be anybody out there preying on the mobility impaired. This is the kind of chair he needs.
And without any hesitation, they gave Ron the chair free of charge. When people reach out to us for help, they often have hit rock bottom and have nowhere else to turn.
She spent time in jail, temporarily lost her children, even her home, all for a crime that she did not commit.
She and her family got evicted.
I didn't deserve this.
So I started to make a few phone calls on Festerman's behalf. I finally found an apartment complex willing to overlook Festerman's eviction and waive application and administrative fees.
You were able to help us out a lot, sir. It was because of you that we got this apartment.
At times, I have to chase people down who don't want to talk and ask the tough questions. And quite frankly, sometimes those questions catch people off guard. Mr. Cornell wasn't able to start chemo until sometime after December 29th, 3 months later.
Correct.
Is that acceptable?
Let me just say this way.
Who cashed his insurance check? Because that's not his signature. His name is spelled wrong. The truth sometimes can make people mad, but it's only because they got caught.
You don't stop, I'm gonna sue you.
You never know how someone will react until you walk up and try to have a face-to-face conversation. Ma'am, you cannot touch the camera.
And you cannot film me.
Sometimes you have to be aggressive, but you also have to show compassion. After our story aired, we had a viewer contact us. He wants to remain anonymous, but he was so disgusted by what this tow truck company did to you and your family. He wanted to make things right. Here I have $300 for you, the cost of the tow bill, plus a little bit extra to take care of your husband.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Our report sparked a criminal investigation, and tonight Michael Valdez has a new home in jail. Just into the News 5 newsroom, clerk and recorder Katie Barr has been arrested and booked into the Fremont County Jail on 3 felony charges. This news follows a series of News 5 investigations.
Satisfaction for me doesn't come with exposing corruption or wrongdoing. It comes when the very next day, or perhaps a week later, we find out we got a policy changed or help for someone who felt helpless.
I was really excited that you actually did respond, because people told me to to contact you, and they said that you would get resolution.
And that's all the time we have for tonight. Remember, if you have a problem or issue you'd like me to check out, call our tip line 719-228-6275 or send an email to news5investigates@koaa.com. From all of us here at News 5, thank you for watching and good night.